You know, if they go give us one on the red zone, we got to be the one on the outside. And Sean Green does a good job. Get on the guy's toes, throw the ball early. That's a heck of an adjustment in the
I
air.
thought he jumped too early.
He definitely did.
Okay.
He just levitated up.
Yeah, I was watching. I was like, oh, maybe he missed time to jump, but he stayed up there.
Yep.
Wow.
That's good defense by the DB, man.
Oh, he was in play?
He was in position.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you throw the ball early, receiver does a good job getting his hands up. And so, you know, just
getting his head around.
Getting his head around. Those are the kind of throws you want.
Welcome to the Wildcat Show with your Camden County Wildcat coach, Travis Roland. Brought to you by the Bennett Automotive Group. Today, we want to recap the Brunswick game, the rivalry game, the big rivalry game with Brunswick. The score ended up, it was a high-scoring affair, it ended up 44-35.
Mm-hmm. Fireworks.
Coach, I said it was going to be 42-28 or something like that, 21. But man, them boys got some players now.
Blazers, coach. That's what me and Coach Coffee talked about in the office. He was like, okay, coach, now you done seen it twice. He was like, are you thinking like I think when you look at Brunswick, you see like South Florida speed, you see that Metro Atlanta speed where those kids, and they have that natural wiggle where like you could tell they've grown up playing outside all the time. Like they just
doing backflips.
The backflips, just all the different movements, man. They're athletic group. And like I said, even in the pre-show when we talked last week about the game, previewing it, you know, I said the quarterback was, when you're a 3-year starter, you don't get rattled. So for him, when we got pressure, or even when we thought we had it wrapped up, and everybody like and then he break a sack, he kept his eyes downfield.
He did.
Found guys, and so I thought, you expected him to be able to do that. And like I said, 3 was a special player. Wasim had a good game. We turned heads and loose a couple times, and so I just think that's just a credit to the athleticism and talent that those kids do possess. And if you don't keep the quarterback in the pocket, those kids can make plays, and they made some plays.
Yeah, but we were able to fight ourselves and stay in the game, and I mean, they couldn't stop us either.
Yeah, no, we fought hard, man. That's when we recapped on Sunday. I told the coaches, man, I was proud of our kids for showing grit. I think sometimes, you lose grit in this generation. Sometimes I thought our kids did a great job in battling on all 3 sides of the ball all night long. Offense kept their composure together, because it would have been easy for them to, once we gave it that first touchdown and then we got stopped in our first drive, they could have easily kind of panicked. But I thought we stayed the course and did a good job. And again, I think of people, they see us in shotgun and see the big quarterback, speed at receiver with DC and Sean Green out there. They assume we're gonna let it fly.
I was just about to say this, like, what was the the pass to the run ratio?
We were 65% pass, man. 65% run. We threw we ran the ball 34 times.
But it like you said, it kind of felt like we threw the ball more. But when I look at the stats, and it's like 14 for 18. Yep. Like, well, darn, you know what I'm saying? But the 5 touchdowns, that was really proficient in the passing game. But the run game, it wasn't surprising, but the run game, it worked.
Yeah, I think, they had a good plan. They came out playing a lot of man in the beginning, and then we kind of loosened them up, getting some guys open. Even though we dropped the ball, it still made them loosen up because we showed we can get behind you. And so as a defense coordinator, I'm sure that's like, well, I got to change some stuff. And so they started giving some 5-man boxes, and that's where you hope a quarterback in an RPO-based system is not selfish and is also smart and will make the right decisions, because a 5-man box screams just hand the ball off. And I think once we got Antoine going, it got us settled in the game, got the chains moving, we were able to go fast. And so now some of those throws you're talking about, the windows get a little more open, linebackers are a little less likely to stay out. They come up, and so the windows get bigger, and we'll make the right decisions with the football. And the receivers, outside of that one drop, they did a good job of catching the football and getting the yards we needed.
But I like what you said earlier off camera. You said that, like, some of our guys, the big guys, because of the atmosphere.
Oh yes, sir.
Brunswick brought a nice crowd. We had a nice crowd, and if it's your first time in that atmosphere, you have to adjust.
It's a lot bigger for a skilled kid when you're young. See, the old linemen that are, having those guys first time starting, they get to hit every play, so their nerves get away. But when you're a receiver or a running back, all those new receivers out there first time in that atmosphere, it's a different world now. You got 2 sides that it's while let's say a competitive physical rivalry, it's still a lot of family ties on both sides. Right. So they know it's people that they know that are looking. And so now it's like, I got to make this this play, I got to make this play. And sometimes that can affect you. We had a couple of them say, man, coach, I ain't going to hold you. It was a whole lot of people out there. So they're just being able to see it. It was good for them to be in the atmosphere, but at the same time, it's some pressure out there because your friends, your family, your big cousins, your uncles, your granddaddies, your grandma, your aunties that talk a little trash to you, all of them are watching. And so everything you talked about previous in the lead up, you got to back up. And so that plays a role in it.
So after the game, what was the feel?
Oh man, the kids are happy because at the end of the day, the alternative to winning is losing. So you don't want to be on that side.
Well, we got them 2 years in a row, and before they had us 2 or 3. Yeah,
so
man.
I think it was 2 or 3 in a row. The rivalry got broken up because of the region size a couple times. So I'm just glad both sides, both schools, ADs, coaches were able to keep it going because it's something that, like Coach he said on his show, that it's something that's needed. For the kids to be able to, both sides to be able to have a test from a school that's so close. You don't have to go drive 4 or 5 hours to get a good type of test to get you ready for what you're gonna see later on. And so I'm just glad we're able to get it to get after it.
How did that do going forward in this week? How did the kids? What was the the attitude coming into this week?
I think offensively for our kids, it was they realized they can actually do it. Because when you don't play an opponent in the spring game, and you do get to do OTAs, but we all know a real football game, there's different intensity in a real football game. So I think offensively for us, it showed our guys that, what we're doing still works, that we can run the ball still, and that we can still be effective out on the edges. And I think defensively, we saw that while, yes, we're athletic, we still have to be able to cover people for an extended period of time, not just for the initial snap, because that's where I talked about the quarterback did a great job. Of his 18 completions, only 8 were on schedule, where it was catch, take a read, make a throw. So we did a good job with the on schedule stuff. What we saw we had to still get better was once he broke a pocket, we got to stay attached to a man, keep our eyes on our man. But I thought, we showed we could stop the run, because last year, run defense was an issue for us, and it was a run, and it was an issue from the very beginning, because we didn't do. I think Brunswick ran for 150, 160 last year. Them counters, Shout out to William Heck. Heck of a ball player, man, did a great job. And so, this year I thought the backs were just as good as he was, and if not better as a group of guys with 10-5. So we did a good job Friday night in slowing them down the run game. And so that, just meant now we got to make sure them off schedule plays, because even in region, every quarterback we play is going to be a kid that can move around. So we got to be we got to shore that up in these next coming weeks.
And I think our kids on the back end just need to try to start learning it down and distances. Like if you give up, because it was like 4th and like.
Oh yeah, shoot the touchdown was late when the whole crowd was just like, it was 4. I think that was 4th and 9. We got the lead. We up 2 scores. We finally gonna get to start to have a chance to go up 3 scores, and we lose contain. Then he come all the way back left. We lost contain again, and then he just throw it to prayer, and we kind of lost him. But like even the you talk about down the distance shoot, even towards the end of the game, it's 3rd and like 17, and we on the single receiver side, and we down there like 5 yards at safety, and we like what? And I think I burned a timeout on one of them, and I'm like, hey man, it's 3rd and 17 in the game. Like, you don't have to be down there. Like, they not finna run the ball. Back up something. But that's again, like you say,
and giving up 10, 12 yards to the quarterback running ain't gonna hurt you. And it ain't my fault. If I'm running with this wide receiver, y'all better get him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that makes a big difference. So I think we're gonna move on to the players of the game. We're gonna do an offensive player of the game that's brought to you by Jane Brown, your local State Farm agent. And we're going to go Co. We're going to go Co this week, because we're going to go. Who you got pulled up first?
Oh, man. So first we're going to go ahead and go with, I think this Will Jackson. We're going to go with some of his throws here.
Yeah, he had 5 touchdowns on 14 for 18. 14 completions on 18 attempts.
Yep.
And that's just proficient.
And like I said, you see right here, this is one of those where we just got a first down in the run game. They got guys not even set. One of their guys still looking to the sideline when the back is for a call. We do a good job of blocking on the perimeter, Dakari, and I think that's Jerry Bass getting hands on guys, and then Sean Green doing some things that even he didn't do last year, where put the foot in the ground and go score. Will got it out there nice and fast, and we get a touchdown there by a touchdown by Will out there.
What grade is the Bass kid in?
Jared's a senior.
Okay.
Yep, okay. Jared's a senior. So here's touchdown pass number 2. Again you get them spread out, play action, cause a little confusion. And we get the coverage kind of messed up, and David Coburn, this is a buildup of how we throw screens so much out there and whipping that ball out. And you think about how impressive this throw is, man. This is his first game out here in this atmosphere.
Right.
It's like his second start of his career, and he's throwing that ball from right hash outside the numbers on a dime. And DC makes a phenomenal catch. And then just the energy by the group of guys, man, to make that play. So just, a good job of selling it, communicating out there nice like you want them. Offensive line does a great job of protection. You see, Big Soup, 64 left guard in there fighting. Sophomore Raymond Howard doing a good job. The whole right side, get a good double team over there. And so just, it's a great ball. Can't do anything about that. Cause no confusion. And then here, man, these are the ones we got to win. Touchdown throw number 3. If they gonna give us one on the red zone, we got to be the one on the outside. And Sean Green does a good job. Get on the guy's toes, throw the ball early. That's a heck of an adjustment in there.
I thought he jumped too early.
He definitely did.
Okay.
He just levitated up there.
Yeah, I was watching. I was like, oh, maybe he missed time to jump, but he stayed up there.
Yep.
Wow.
That's good defense by the DB, man.
He was in play.
He was in position.
Yep.
But, when we throw the ball early, receiver does a good job getting his hands up, and so just
getting his head around.
Getting his head around. Those are the kind of throws you want, and so again, protection is good. And the quarterback does a good job of making a decision to throwing the ball. And you see Sean is
already in there.
He's already in there. So it's a tough one. He's up there and high points to football.
Stop that right there, Coach. The thing about Sean and Will and all your receivers, the 7-on-7 during the summer,
absolutely.
All that helps to know what your player can do, because you can't just throw that to anybody.
No, you cannot.
So their relationship is really getting closer and closer.
That stuff has been built, and that's the whole reasoning for trying to get in those game-like situations, and you call the same plays. Like, some people change their playbooks to fit 7-on-7. We try to do a good job
of doing
our stuff,
right?
Because our stuff is what we're going to do in a football game.
Yeah, it don't matter about winning that.
You want to do well, but you want to be able to do this, and that's stuff that we were able to do throughout the time. So here we go. Something we stole from somebody that we saw on film. It's funny, Jesse Newsom, if you're watching, I would be so mad at Will because we called the same play twice in a row and Jesse was wide open. And so Coach had to actually come down, through the headset, Will pull the ball and either run it or throw it to the H coming across. And so, we run it here, and again I think also he was trying to get Antoine in the end zone again too.
Right.
Because we were winning up front. And if you see down at the bottom, man, right here, Coach LaDonis Bryant is standing next to me. He's already called a touchdown before we even snapped the dirt football. So he feels like he knows what's gonna happen, and we do a good job. Will pulls the football, Drew Daly run across the formation for a touchdown. And so that was, we had 4 different guys catch touchdown passes. And you talk about the summer, like I said, I think leaving last week, we were leaving those summer 7-on-7s with 7-8 guys catching touchdown passes throughout the day, and we had 4 guys catch touchdown pass. And so
it's good when you can't, when you don't have, you have to defend everybody.
Absolutely, you got to defend everybody, because you can't sit there and just rely on one man, because at some point somebody gonna take him away.
Right.
And so that's what I thought. Coach Alford does a good job of not necessarily, he puts people in certain positions at times, but he makes sure that we have plays called to where you're a puzzle piece, and if the puzzle says throw it here, that's the piece you choose and put in. So that was Will's highlights, man. He did a phenomenal job making good decisions for us. And then obviously,
so our other co-player is Antoine Williams that ran for, how much you ran for, Coach?
158 off of 24 carries, 24 too many for me. I'd rather Drew get a few more of those to keep those guys fresh. But owed to the offensive line for getting movement, and then Twan being Twan, he's gonna break tackles. I always say if we take care of the first level, Twan can do a great job of taking care of those guys on the second level.
Well, I think this coach, he gets stronger for some reason.
Coach, he do, man.
With the carry.
Yeah, he definitely, he's a guy that as long as you're giving him, the ball, he gets in the rhythm. Because again, you're talking about somebody that's 5'9", 185, and that's a brick wall.
Yeah.
How much do kids want to continue to tackle a guy like that over and over again? And this is just good vision here. He gets a good block across from Drew Daly right there, and he reads the offensive line and reads the hole and bounces it.
I want to say this. I just watched these two plays. The offensive line is doing a good job.
Coach. They're attached, attached and getting movement. Let me go. I got to make sure I get you the end zone shot. I got rid of the wrong one now. We're doing a good job of getting movement, having a body on the body. Also, that's one of my biggest things. And you see right here, that's a body on the body. That's all.
Who's
we
52?
52 is the sophomore, Raymond Howard. Great position right there as a left tackle. You see the feet moving nice and tight, and he's attached.
And like you said, now he saw that and he went to the outside because he could have tried to press that hole right there.
Could have pressed, and that's a good job by him pressing and then bouncing.
Yes.
And now Raymond does a good job. A lot of times you see right here, guys will try to stay attached. Just go ahead and let him go. You done your job.
Yeah.
Don't get the holding penalty. Don't get the ref a reason to call it. And Antoine, breaks a big time run right there.
Good job.
Here he is again. Again, you widen these guys with the formation you give them with the receivers, and when the quarterback is shown, he can make those throws.
Right.
So the linebackers don't want to make it 2-on-2. They want to try to be 3-for-2 in certain situations. I've got a 5-man box, and there you go again.
Woo.
Body on the body, you can crease him.
Yeah, he hit now.
So he stayed front side on this one.
73 is
that's Big Country
came back in.
Yep, Trent Davis. Made the linebacker make a decision. You don't have to kill him.
Who Big Country stepped in for?
He came in for Harris Bloom on this series.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So and that's Judah Dickerson, one of our legacy football players in the program, number 76.
Right.
Doing a good job, having hands on. All we do is get a body in the body. That's all we asking you to do. Antoine does a good job, press and bounce. And there you go again. You know what I mean? So just a great job by Antoine. Him and Ju both had a good game. And here's another run, 10-yard clip. And again, same thing. Sometimes people think you have to do a lot. You don't have to. I mean, you look at this view, 52 is going to get great movement here again. Ray Howard's going to be a great player. We love our 5 guys up front when they play with good pad level and bend them knees the right way. So, we're excited about them, man. I think they're going to continue to be good. Making sure we get the call right. Will yell at the sideline. You love that leadership. Like, give me the call. Let's go. We're waiting too long. And so, again, same thing. Press. No wasted movement. And that right there is what you're going to see a lot. When he gets right here and he gets a guy head up.
Go ahead and put it on it.
Yeah. And that's what I got going low because he's seen
what it takes.
Put it over.
Yeah, chest to chest. You ain't going to stop it.
Twan had a good game, man. Proud of him. Again, 158, 1 touchdown. We continue to do that on the ground. We ran for 215 as a total team. So we continue to do that. We're going to be in great situation.
So we're going to move on to the defensive player of the game. Brought to you by Nick Schupak at the Golden Isle All-State Agents.
Yep. So right here we're going with Xavier Brown. He had 2 tackles in the game, 2 for loss, and 2 quarterback hurries. So you see right here him coming up the middle, bang, knocks a guy dead flat. That's something that people questioned his toughness last year. Is he really like that? And you see there. He's a man on a mission right now. So
don't say people question it. I questioned it at one time. I'm gonna be honest with you, but the kid took to the coaching and took to what real life is really about.
And to the standard of being a county line.
Exactly.
In the middle. He's done that. So here he is again, coming through, being aggressive. He's our leader, man. Unquestioned leader, physical dude, with just total energy. Right here in the middle, he's seeing and going. I think the best part about it, we're playing downhill now. That's the difference.
Go get him.
I think this year we're coming down here to come get people. And so this is one of his tackles for loss, getting up and just making plays. And like I say, the energy running to the ball, he gets up, ready to go. And that's something that, we needed to see as a group of, for our program for this year.
I want to give a shout out to Will Smith also, because I think he had 10 tackles.
Yep.
And who's number 17, Coach?
17 is Zion Branch, man.
Zion coming on.
Zion Branch is, if there was a guy that I had to tell somebody was most improved,
yes,
it would be Zion Branch. He's a kid that him and X started hanging out, and And Zion stepped up for us, man, and I mean, changed his body, committed to the weight room, did a lot of great things. Zion finished the game with 8 tackles for us. I think he had a pass breakup and just has turned himself into a phenomenal player.
Because I remember he was like he used to like just talk and play all the time, but now it's like
and now he's
senior.
He's a senior.
Desperation.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I've been playing all my life.
Yes, sir.
I don't want nobody to come around and now tell me no,
right,
and take that away from me. So again, we use X in a lot of different ways. Right there, you see him come off the edge here, man. Force a throw, a third down throw. So we're trying to utilize him in different ways off the edge. We got him and Will Smith are our speed package defensive ends. So both those guys, like I said, the linebacker had a good game on Friday night, man. We just got to stay attached to some people and continue to do a good job. So kudos to X, man, for being a good ball player right now and doing some great things for us.
But we're young in the backfield, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, we shoot first year starter type of guys. I mean, this is Will Smith's first year being a full-time starter. Malik Patterson, who plays safety, first year starting.
Right.
Demi Coleman's a sophomore, first year starting. Our other safety, Cedric,
and then
first
Stevens
year starting. Sean Stevens is a corner, first year starting. So a lot of these guys are juniors and sophomores. So there's a lot of them first time, being out there in that environment. And credit to our own crowd, because no matter who we play, it's gonna be loud. So they're gonna have to continue to get used to those atmospheres. And that's a good thing about being at home a little bit. They get to get used to it, and
it's early in the season.
Yep.
I mean, and they've seen some players
back-to-back weeks.
They've seen some players, and I don't think it's gonna stop.
Yep.
I think
it's not gonna stop.
I don't think it's gonna stop. So that's leading into the Eastlake game.
Yes, sir.
Eastlake went 3-7 last year, but it's week 1 for them.
Yep.
Week 1 is tough when another team has already played. But what you expect for those guys?
Obviously, like I told the kids, when you go, anytime we play any Florida school, a lot of people, they're gonna say when they ask at the immediate days, what's the biggest game on your schedule? Camden.
Yeah.
It's going to always be Camden. And so I told them, you're going to get their best shot. These kids are looking at some of you guys. DBs are like, I get to go guard Sean Green.
Right.
A lineman's like, I'm going to go block Xavier Brown. A receiver, I'm going to go, they got an ECU committed as an athlete. Oh, I'm going at him.
Going at it.
And so they're going to want to build up their reputation. Chunky and Daquan have offers. So those are offensive linemen, which they have a humongous offensive line. They're going to say, I'm going to get
all 5 coming back.
All 5 come back. They lost. It's crazy because they lost 2 twins to another school that transferred, but they brought in 2 more that started somewhere else. And that's the difference with Florida. They can flip over a roster quickly.
Right.
And so I think offensively they're going to present some challenges. They got a kid number 1, number 12 that plays the receiver for them. They can scoot just like the kids from Brunswick. And they got a lightweight kid. I think he's on like 145, but he had a 60-yard touchdown where he left everybody on film. Had a 40-yard run. So the skill kids don't get no break.
What the quarterback look like?
Quarterback's the same kid from last year.
Okay.
So he's a returner. Athletic kid, and honestly, what's funny, we turned the tape on the team they played for 5A, or 5A. We argue about this in the office, how you say it.
Right.
But when you turn the tape on, and both teams were under center in I formation.
Ooh.
So we all like, what in the 1999 is this? Because you don't see much I formation football anymore. But
they're toughness, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hat on hat.
Yes, sir. Pro style offense. So it's going to be one-on-one matchups because of how they line up. That's going to create that stuff on the edge, and then you're going to have to get we're going to have to win hat on hat battles, which is something we want to correct because that was an issue in our North Cobb game where we weren't winning when they got in 12 personnel and just ran outside zone. We want to correct that because you got to win. Somebody got to win in those situations.
You said North Cobb, but that was a little different. I'm just saying. What? Man, them 2 running backs.
Oh yeah. But we want to make sure we correct and win because
and be ready for that
when
type
it's 12
stuff.
personnel, somebody's got to win in that front 7 and front 8. So they'll give us a good challenge. I think our offense should be able to handle business on defense. But again, they're gonna have skilled kids that can run with our guys. We got to win up front.
Who do they have on defense?
They've got a linebacker that returns number 4-4. And to show you how old school some of these kids are, he got a net roll, a cowboy collar, so he want to hit, right? And then they got a kid number 11, pretty safety back there. I think he's about 6'3", playing safety. So and then 12 and 1 both play some corner. Got a kid number 8 that's aggressive out there with his hands, very handsy kid. And like I say, receivers, you can't think they're gonna call pass interference. We don't always necessarily get the benefit of the doubt. So we got to be able to beat press coverage, you know. And I don't ever want us finishing a route doing like this. If they throw it, they throw it.
Or crying to the referee.
And I thought Jerry Bass did a good job. He drew one Friday. He wasn't complaining, looking for the flag. He just did what he did and got the flag. Same thing with Sean Green, fought through contact, and we ended up getting the flag. But we don't want to, necessarily worry about that. We want to just play through that stuff and be prepared that we're gonna get a handsy guy, and you got to, utilize what you have in your toolbox.
So what kind of outcome you looking for this week, Coach? I mean, what are we specifically like working on towards this game?
Obviously, we're not trying to hop off side 6 times.
Oh man,
we're not trying
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we ain't trying to hop off side 6 times, Coach. A lot of people came to practice, and I personally, they came to practice to see was I gonna handle that. And so, if you came out, you saw the boards that we introduced to the guys.
Okay, I heard some rumblings. I heard some rumblings about discipline.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not necessarily discipline. As far I think it is discipline, but discipline I was thinking is the personal fouls. We clean that. We clean that part up. But the jumping off 6 times.
6 times, Coach. All D linemen.
So what did we do to try to fix that?
Well, we definitely did some positive consequences. They pushed that board up and down that turf. But then you just you have to make sure when you're doing scout team stuff, or even if you're doing walkthrough stuff where you work through your blitzes, everything's got to be hard count, and you have to make sure the ball is involved. And if somebody hops off sides, there has to be swift and decisive correction right away.
So tell me this: how did the kids respond to that, and what were their answers for that? I mean, because sometimes, my bad,
we
coach.
don't want to own it. Yeah,
They didn't own it.
Oh no, they own it. No, I'm saying sometimes we don't want to own it. The kids owned it. Like Coach Alfred always tells them, don't yes sir me to death. Show me your yes sir by you changing the behaviors. One of the kids actually asked me, like, Coach, why y'all keep saying don't stop saying yes sir so much? And I said it's because when you say it so fast, you're really just saying, Coach, leave me alone, go on about your business. I hear you.
You know what? In the past, we had a kid like that was yes sir, and he never got it. The kid that says, Coach, so the question, ask the question, because then I know that you're getting it and you may be corrected, but it's yes sir. And it's a good thing, but then it becomes a bad thing if you yes sir and everything.
Because you're not changing. And so that was the thing we said, we want to see you change this behavior in practice, right? Don't let this be a situation where it continues, because now you force me to have to take you out because you're hurting us. Like this, and now you're a talented person, but if we can't depend on you, like we should be able to have our best players in the game on 3rd or 4th down and short. But now if we got to take you out because we don't know if you're going to hop off sides or not, we're hurting the program. And so
does that take away from their aggression? You think that takes away from their aggression?
It can. If you're worried about that, it does make you a half step slower, and you're going to not be as aggressive because you're worried about it. And that's where you have to practice it. So if we run like some kind of suicides or some sprints or something at the practice, we have to make sure the ball is involved.
Watch the ball.
It's a thing we constantly developing. Like watching the ball, it is an art form, because again, we want to be aggressive, but we have to have the right aggression at the right time, because whether it's the 4th quarter, 1st quarter, because in that game, man, on that second drive when we hopped those sides, it was going to be a 3 and out,
and then we were going to get the ball right back.
20-play drive, and so now everybody's like, well, we look tired, yes, because we went we hopped off sides on 3rd down, on 4th down, it went to a 20-play drive. We 3 and out it, and then they had like another 9 or 10 play drive. So now we played a half of football in 2 drives. So now, of course, yes, we're tired because you're not really set to play that many snaps in a quarter, let alone a half, or a game. So, but the kids owned it. Like I said, Chunky came in. He hopped off sides once in the game. Chunky came in right away and was like, Coach, we had him come in for film on Sunday, and he was like, never again. I'm not doing that again. That's on me. So that they definitely owned it. One of the thing of excuses being made.
Good.
They understood it. The personal files, we paid for that. And and one of them, I get it. A guy was kind of trying to talk over him, as they're on the sideline. And yes, and I got to tell them all the time, guys, we know y'all not soft. You don't have to prove that you're not soft, because now instead of that being a one-way penalty, it ended up being offsetting. Instead of us having them now, 3rd and 25, we're repeat of 2nd and 10.
I kind of throw them out because it was a rivalry, and they both, and they knew how to get under each other's skin. And if it went one way, then that would have been a problem. Well, I mean, I think that's it for today. But I mean, 7:30 on Friday night.
Sir.
We got the East Lake High School out of Florida. They're coming through. We need all the fans out there.
Absolutely.
What's your crew name? The Letters.
Oh yeah, got to shout them letters out, man. Those kids, they work hard, they grind for us. I'll make sure we get out what spirit day it is for on Friday. I can't remember that it was Beach Day on last week. I cannot remember what they had this week, but I'll make sure I put it out on the social media platforms. Thank you to those kids, man. They do a great job in the student section, the band, the cheerleaders, everybody that's out there, man. We appreciate everybody, the all the different groups that were tailgating. It was awesome for all the energy that was out there, and we need that energy every Friday, not just because of Brunswick or whoever. We need to have that energy every Friday because we trying to, we got to make Camden County, Chris Gilman Stadium one of the hardest places to play in this country.
And so we talked about the program. You think the program headed in the right direction?
I think we're heading in the right direction, man. We just got to keep going. We got to continue to believe in ourselves. Don't play, scary. Don't play down. And when I say scary, I mean scared to make a mistake. Not like I'm scared of the person.
Going 100 miles an hour.
Just we need to play with confidence in who we are as football players and students. But program going in the right direction, man. We've had 3 weeks of school, and knock on wood, we haven't had anybody do anything crazy on campus. So,
and one other thing, how the injuries coming?
We're coming along well, man. We got one appointment on September 4th for Parks, hoping we get him back soon, and then Spencer Starnes, I think he's the week after that, so hopefully we can continue to get those guys back, and as we get guys like that back, the program's going to continue to rise because those are 2 super competitive kids.
No doubt.
And we made it out of
leaders too.
That's the thing. Leaders,
yeah.
Vocal and by the way they play and work. So we get those guys back. We made it out of Friday night, healthy as we could be. We had a kid roll his ankle, Perk, who had a great showing, rolled his ankle a little bit in last week's game, but he's looking to be good as we go on, and I think he'll play something for us on Friday. So looking forward to getting him back healthy and being that third back that can help us do some things too, because he's got some great hands, man. He's a great football player.
Okay. Thank y'all for watching. Appreciate everything.
Look, back and I'm better than ever. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed.